It's Mr. Harland. Today we have a special background today, and yeah, it's a special one today since from game background and we got a new background, so I was like, ooh, today y'all get to see me drive. But oh wait, this is not where I'm supposed to be headed to drive around. Okay. Ooh, Mr. Harland's gone high tech. Yes, I have gone high tech. I have gone high tech. Where's my Crown Vic? There it is. Drive! Yes! Today we will be talking about Wyatt Earp. Yes, Wyatt Earp. I was like, why not? Wyatt Earp. Let's do it. Because he became a police officer much later in his career. Let's turn that off. Turn off. Oh. Ah, listen to that nice V8 engine. But yes, today we will be talking about Wyatt Earp. Ah, such a nice sound. But for right now, we'll be looking for, oh god. That'll certainly get me fired. But I hope it doesn't get me fired. But yeah, today we'll be talking about Wyatt Earp. Born on March 19th, 1848 as Wyatt Barry Stapp Earp in Monmouth, Illinois, U.S. His occupations were as follows. He was a lawman, buffalo hunter, saloon keeper, miner, brothel keeper, and boxing referee. As I said before, Wyatt Earp was born the fourth, well, I haven't said this yet, but he was born the fourth child of Nicholas Porter Earp and his second wife, Virginia Ann Cooksey. He was named after his father's commanding officer in the Mexican-American Army, Captain Wyatt Barry Stapp of the 2nd Company of the Illinois Mounted Volunteers. Some evidence supports Wyatt Earp's birthplace as 406 S 3rd Street in Monmouth, Illinois. Although the street address is disputed by Monmouth College professor and historian William Urban, the Wyatt Earp Birthplace, Inc. in 1986 was placed on the National Register of Historic Places in 1999. The Illinois Historic Preservation Agency visited the home at 406 3rd Street and submitted the nomination. Wyatt had seven full siblings: James, Virgil, Martha, Morgan, Warren, Virginia, and Adelia, and an elder half-brother, Newton, from his father's first marriage. Wyatt was only 13 years old, too young to enlist, but he tried on several occasions to run away and join the army. Each time, his father found him and brought him home. James was severely wounded in Fredericktown, Missouri, and returned home in summer 1863. Newton and Virgil fought several battles in Missouri, Mississippi, and Tennessee, and later followed the family to California. And later at some point he became a lawman. Hey, speaking of which, look at that. Look at that nice man in there. See him? Look at him. What a handsome young man. I'm pretty sure he's single. I don't know who this dude is, but yeah. In the spring of 1868... Oh, it just paused. Wow. In the spring of 1868, the Earps moved east, again to Lamar, Missouri, where Wyatt's family, Nicholas, became the local constable. Wyatt rejoined the family the next year. Nicholas resigned as constable on November 17th, 1869, to become the justice of the peace. Wyatt was appointed constable in his place. I guess this thing doesn't really, or can really go fast or slow. Hold on, I wonder if this thing has an autopilot. 'Cause okay. I need to see if this thing has an autopilot. Oh, I wish I checked this sooner, because, yeah, I don't know if there is a... Okay, gameplay. There's no control. Oh, here we go. So there is no autopilot or cruise control. That's stupid. Well, we can wait for a speeder. That's what I'll do. Just sit right there. First gunfight. Wyatt Earp and his brother Virgil visited family in Monmouth, Illinois. Afterward, Virgil went to Missouri and Wyatt went to Beardstown, Illinois, 70 miles south, where he spent the summer of 1869. Where Beardstown was undergoing a boom, thanks to a rail line being laid through town. During mid-1869 in Beardstown, Illinois, a railroad brakeman named Tom Piner mocked Wyatt, calling him the California boy, a euphemism for coward, implying that Wyatt had gone to California to avoid serving in the Civil War. Although Wyatt had attempted to join the army, he'd been stopped by his father. He took offense at Piner's remarks. They fought, and Wyatt tossed Piner outside. Piner drew his gun, and Wyatt armed himself. They exchanged shots, and Piner was wounded in the hip. Earp would move to Tombstone and would become a law enforcement constable there. He later wrote in 1879, Dodge was beginning to lose much of the snap which had given it a charm. And, yeah, it pretty much changed. On July 25th, 1880, Army Captain Joseph H. Hurst and asked Deputy U.S. Marshal Virgil Earp to assist him in tracking down outlaw cowboys who had stolen 6 Army mules from Fort Rucker, Arizona. Virgil requested the assistance of his brothers Wyatt and Morgan, along with Wells Fargo agent Marshall Williams, and they found the mules at the McClary's ranch. McClary was a cowboy, a term which was generally used in that region to refer to a loose association of outlaws, some of whom were landowners and ranchers. Legitimate cowmen were referred to as herders or ranchers. They found a brand ironing which the cowboys had used to change the U.S. brand into D8. Stealing the mules was a federal offense because the animals were government property. He would also become a deputy sheriff, but we'll get into that later. Cowboy Frank Patterson made an agreement with Captain Hurst, and Hurst persuaded the posse to withdraw with an understanding that the mules would be returned. The cowboys showed up 2 days later without the mules and laughed at Hurst and the Earps. In response, Hurst printed a handbill describing the theft, and he charged McClary with hiding the mules. He also reproduced the handbill and the tombstone epitaph on July 30th, 1880. McClary angrily printed a response in the Cowboy Friendly Nugget, calling Hurst unmanly, a coward, a vagabond, a rascal, and a malicious liar. Accusing him of stealing the mules, Hurst later cautioned the Earp brothers that the cowboys had threatened their lives. Virgil reported that McClary accosted him and said, "If you ever again follow us as close as you did, then you will have to fight anyway." A month later, Earp ran into Frank and Tom McClary in Charleston, and they told him that they would kill him if they ever followed him as he had done before. The gunfight in Tombstone only lasted 30 seconds, but it ended up defining Earp for the rest of his life. His movements began to receive national press coverage after he killed Frank Stillwell in Tucson and left Arizona with his brother Warren Holiday McMaster, Turkey Creek Jack Johnson, and Texas Jack Vermillion. They stopped in Albuquerque, New Mexico, where they met up with Earp's friend, Deputy U.S. Marshal Bat Masterson. Masterson went with them to Trinidad, Colorado, where he opened up a faro game in a saloon and became a marshal. Wyatt Earp's life would forever be changed thanks to Tombstone and that gunfight. And because there's so much information out there about him, I would have to make 2 videos, so I'm not going to focus on this one too much. Sorry, y'all, my microphone came unplugged. Wyatt Earp's life was changed to the point where anyone who mentioned his name, well, they'd be, "Oh, you're that man from Tombstone." Around April 1885, Earp reportedly used his badge to join a band of claim jumpers in Embry Camp, later renamed Chilliwack, Washington. Yeah, I can't pronounce that. I can't even pronounce that name. Within 6 months, their substantial stake had run dry, and the Earps left the Murray Eagle district. About 10 years later, a reporter hunted a buzzard after the Fitzsimmons Sharkey fight and extracted a story from which he accused Earp of being the brains behind lot jumping and a real estate fraud. Odd. Further tarnishing his reputation. All good things when it comes to law enforcement. A really good one like Wyatt Earp, they do come to an end. Wyatt Earp was the last surviving Earp brother and the last surviving participant of the gunfight at the OK Corral when he died at home in the Earp's small rented bungalow at 4004 West 17th Street in Los Angeles of chronic cystitis. Don't know if I pronounced that right. On January 13th, 1929, at the age of 80 years old, the Los Angeles Times reported that he had been ill with liver disease for 3 years. His brother Newton had died almost a month prior on December 18th, 1928. Wyatt was survived by his wife, Josephine, and sister Adelia Earp Edwards. He had no children. Charlie Welsh's daughter, Grace Spoledora, and his daughter-in-law, Alma, were the only witnesses to Wyatt's body's cremation. Josephine was apparently too grief-stricken to assist. Josephine, who was Jewish, had Earp's body cremated and secretly buried his remains in the Marcus family plot at the Hills of Eternity Memorial Park, a Jewish cemetery in Colma, California, when she died in 1944. Her body was buried alongside his ashes. She had purchased a small white marble headstone, which was stolen shortly after her death in 1944. It was discovered in the backyard in Fresno of a home. A second flat granite headstone was also stolen. Grave robbers tried to dig into the grave of Wyatt Earp on July 7th, 1957, in an apparent attempt to steal the urn containing his ashes. Unable to find his cremains, they stole the 500-pound gravestone. Actor Hugh O'Brien was playing Earp in the 1955-1961 television series The Life and Legend of Wyatt Earp. Offered a reward for the stone's return. It was located for sale in a flea market. Cemetery officials reset the stone flush in concrete, but it was stolen again. Actor Kevin Costner, who played Earp in the 1994 movie Wyatt Earp, offered to buy a new, larger stone, but the Marcus family thought his offer was self-serving and declined. Descendants of Josie's half-sister Rebecca allowed a Southern California group in 1988-1999 to erect the stone currently in place. The earlier stone is on display in the Colma Historical Museum. Wyatt Earp's life in general is one that will forever be remembered. He is one of the most culturally known people when it comes to the old Wild West, alongside other outlaws. And it's very likely that it may remain like that for the rest of eternity. But we will never truly know what he would think about his life, but there have been many books, a couple movies, a TV show, so much so, just too much for me to keep track of. And would I want to get into all of it? Not really, because there's so much here and the information I found, and that I had to read myself to make sure I didn't get it all messed up as I was saying it all. Ugh, this kind of stuff can be a pain. So, that will be it for today's video. The second one will be coming. That sounded very wrong, but it will be coming out. And as I always say, it's a good thing for those who wait. Because, gee, all I have to say is, we all have a good day. We shall do this again very soon, my friends, as one YouTuber once said. And, ooh. Wait a minute. Blues are no longer in the playoffs, so, well, let's hope Tampa Bay can get a third Stanley Cup, specifically Pat Maroon. He got one with the Blues, two with Tampa Bay. Let's see if he can get a fourth Stanley Cup. I'd like to see it. And, let's go, Tampa Bay. Yeah, Tampa Bay Lightning. That's the first. Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay. Third Stanley Cup. Stan Kroenke sucks. Kroenke sucks. Because I think he stinks. I have the power! Unlimited power! I even have a goal siren. Yay! Let's go on a cruise, shall we? For today's outro. We're on a road to nowhere. Woo! Oh! Dingbat! Goodbye, everyone. I hope you all had fun, like always. Goodbye!